Hi guys, my name's Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. Hey guys, I am back and as per my Unpopular Opinions 2 video, I'm here to bring you my oddity books. A lot of you guys requested this, so I thought here we go today. This is going to be a little bit of a casual video. I've got a casual background, no white wall. If you know what that is, you're very cool. But I have my oddity books here and I tell you what, these are very special to me. I don't collect a lot of things. I have a small house and I don't like a lot of things cluttering up my space. So I don't collect DVDs. I do have a few DVDs, especially some in my storage if you do want to see like a tour. I do have some like special DVDs, but nothing that can't really be found today. But I used to collect them, but I stopped doing that. I really just watch movies online or I go to the movies, but collecting them, it's just not something that I feel, I don't know, gels with me. So if you don't have a big collection, I don't think you should feel bad. But one thing I have been trying to do throughout the years is to kind of put together my own little library, tiny library of just odd and fun and strange books. So today I'm going to go through and talk to you about all of these books, and they're just treasures to look at. Like even the covers, they're all like wilted and just beautiful. If you love books like that, you could love this, and these are some really interesting books. So let's get into it. Before I get into these books, I do want to mention two books that I don't have on hand. One is one that I've mentioned in the past, which is Stoker Hunt, Ouija, The Dangerous Game, The Most Dangerous Game, sorry. That book is amazing. It explains how people connect with demons and, you know, the good side of using a board and the bad side of using the board, and then the psychology behind using a board in a really simple, thought out, like easy to read way, which I really like. I love books that take horror aspects and make it non-fiction and like kind of look into the psychology behind stuff. Those are my favorite types of books and I would highly recommend that. I do believe you can buy it on Amazon and I think that's where I originally bought it. I can't find my copy, but I'm pretty sure that's where I originally bought it. And then the other book I want to mention is Evil Archaeology. This is a book that I actually found in a bookstore, but it was so expensive at the time and I couldn't afford it. It was like 40 bucks. It was a really bad week for me, so I could not afford it, but I found it for $12 on Kindle. And tip to you, I used to have a Kindle and it broke really early on. They're very temperamental. I did not know that. But what I didn't know as well is that you can actually use your phone as a Kindle. You just download a Kindle app and you can actually use your phone as a Kindle. So you don't have to buy a Kindle. So if you're looking for something online and you just don't have money to buy it in like hardback copy, you can always do that, and you can find a lot more that way. And there's a lot of really odd books online, so definitely check that out. The first book on top of my pile is Witchcraft, Confessions and Accusations. This is an amazing book. It is just beautiful to look at, number one, but it's very scientific. Not really, like non-fiction. It has a lot of facts and states it, and has a lot of graphs. Obviously, this is all about accusations throughout time. And I think it's just super interesting, and it, you know, it has like lots of graphs and things in there. It's also just a beautiful book, hardcover. It has this beautiful, I really want to know where this came from, but I can't figure it out. But it says that it was priced at only £3 in the UK. And then in there it also says it's distributed by Barnes & Nobles in America. So, I mean, you can probably find it. Is it Barnes & Nobles? Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble. And yeah, I love this book. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, I need to have that. It looks so official. And I just think it's beautiful, and it has a strong statement to it, you can see. This next book is one of the wacky ones, one of the probably more out there books. This is Encounters. I love this book. I picked it up from the Haunted Bookshop, which I will talk about later, but this is beautiful. This is case studies from a psychologist who talks to many people about their encounters with aliens. Even has some like rare little weird pictures. This is Linda with other contactees and visitors in front of the healing crystal. This is one of those out there books, and I love these kind of books that talk about stuff in first person, but it just jumps straight in, because you and I live pretty normal lives, and these people live pretty extraordinary lives, and when they write a book, they don't really like, I don't know, sugarcoat it. They get straight to the action. So this is definitely one of those books you're reading and going, holy crap, did he just say that? What, did they really do that to that? Am I reading this right? This is an out there book, and this is what I came for. This is what I'm here for. Encounters, love that. My first shrink wrapped book I have here is a companion book for Stephen King. This isn't really an oddity book, but I just thought it was a beautiful addition. I'm sure you guys know what a companion book is, but it pretty much is to help you read along with some of Stephen King's work. I'm sure there's many versions of this, but I just love the way this one looks. It just, I don't know, it's just like so old school Stephen King. And it says it contains a book by book look at all King's published and unpublished works. It provides essential information for fans on all Stephen King books, films, collectibles available, and how to get them. So I'll definitely bust that open when I read another Stephen King. Now I'm realizing I've already read a Stephen King since I got this, but still, I just think it's beautiful. So I'm glad to have that in my collection, shrink wrapped until I open it. Speaking of, this is my copy of Carrie. I like to keep like the older looking, I think this is like the same thing as VHS, like the look of that tattered, worn and loved cover. And although this one did come out after the movie, because obviously it's got the pictures from the movie, I still love the look of this one. It's been well loved. Carrie is such a short book as well. So, I mean, I don't have to explain to you what Carrie is, but this is a well loved book, and I'm sure this one came out in 1980. Look at that, like you can tell how worn this is. It's beautiful. Yep, this was reprinted in 1980. So, oh man, it's just smells good too. Got that book smell. I sound so weird, but I'm sure you guys know what I mean. Beautiful. This is another book I mentioned in another video. I can't tell you, this got me on the non-fiction horror train. This book is it. Like, this is it. This is A Magician Among the Spirits by Harry Houdini. When Houdini's mum died, he really wanted to believe that he could talk to her again and have contact with her. So he started going to all these spiritualists and mediums, clairvoyants, and he started realizing that it's not really a thing. And he went through, and because he's a magician, he has all this background knowledge, and he disproves a lot of people. And the thing in here, which is so amazing, is he has like letters to people, but then also, see if I can find one, he has like all of these really cool diagrams where he goes through and explains how they do stuff. So when they talk about, if you've seen The Last Exorcism or anything like that, and they talk about how they do all the fake stuff, I think that's so interesting. And here he explains how people disappear. Oh, here's a good one. I've actually bookmarked it. Yeah, that's like table wrapping. Investigator was sitting here, and like it just shows how they do everything. I don't know what this one's on actually, but I think it's really cool. He like demonstrates and explains how they're doing things. This is a treasure, and I believe you can buy this on Amazon. I'm pretty sure that's where I got this originally. I bought this like 10 years ago, and it's one of my prized possessions. It's just beautiful. The cover's not so nice, the red, but I mean, they could have done that a little bit nicer, but amazing book. These are two, oh, I guess these are a little bit different. This one I picked up at the Haunted Books shop, which I will talk about later. And this is The House of the Brandersons. This is a novel about like a possession, creepy kid, haunted house, sitch. But I just love the thought of this novel, like someone walking around reading this on the train. Yeah, this is like a curated one, so it's passed on to me, but you can see it's got like some watermarks, and it's got like this beautiful blue like outline, and it's just like worn and beautiful. And yeah, I love anything that's like possession based. And usually I don't buy novels, but this one says more terrifying than The Exorcist, a novel of demonic possession that will hold you until the screaming end. So, I mean, it had me there. Beautiful. This next one is more of what I was talking about with the non-fiction. This is Binding the Devil, The Truth About Exorcism, and it goes through and talks about different exorcisms and what goes on in modern times. It's quite a hard read, to be honest. It's kind of all over the place. Like I said, sometimes they jump in because this is their norm, not so much our norm. So I would like it to be dumbed down a little bit. But I think it's still like, look at that cover. It looks like something else, right? But it's still very interesting. And it's one of those books like, what am I reading? On the back, it says, it is a terrifying fact that even today, cases of demonic possession still occur. Is exorcism the only answer when modern psychiatry fails? I mean, this with the font, I just love the way it looks, and I love the idea of it. But yeah, as I said, a bit of a tough read. I'm gonna have to give this one another go, but it's just written a bit strange. Next one, shrink wrapped again. If you didn't think I'd have this, well, who do you think I am? I'm a huge fan of Phantom of the Opera, and you guys probably know that. I haven't actually read the whole book cover to cover. I've read little parts of it, but I've seen I don't know how many movies. I think there's 12 movies in total. I've seen at least 6 of them, and I've seen like the actual performance live. And I'm just such a fan of all the music. So I really wanted to have this ready, and I love the cover on this one. It's just so beautiful. It has the Phantom, and he's like all green, and I don't know, it's like cool and warm tones together. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to have this one on my shelf for when I wanted to rip it open, although it's a little bit ripped already. I just didn't want to take it out of its wrapping until I was ready. But I just love that I have this. This is what I mean. It's such a treasure. Like, this is a treasure. The next one is also something that's very, very important to me. This is communion. If you do not know what I'm talking about now, you need to, I don't know, go and Google right now communion with Christopher Walken. This is a book that is first person based. The guy who wrote this believes that he had an encounter with aliens, went to their mothership, and it's a pretty famous story. It's very famous. And I am just a fangirl of this story. It's one of those alien stories that are just got me. I mean, we're all weird here, but you know, I love aliens, and this is my favorite alien story. If you haven't seen the movie that this is based on, this book is based on, you need to go watch it. As I said, it has Christopher Walken. It is the best alien movie of all time because the aliens don't act like people. They act nutso. They move different. It's bizarre. It's like a David Lynch alien movie. That's how I'd probably describe it. Yeah, it's amazing, and Christopher Walken breaks the fourth wall, and that's all I need to say to you. But yeah, I'm a huge fangirl of this. I have got it on my Kindle, but I wanted to get it in a shrink wrap copy, just in case. This isn't a special book by any means. It's not like, you know, how beautiful the other ones are, but it's definitely something that I wanted to have on hand. This next one is very important. I have not opened this one either, and it is, again, shrink wrapped, but is this not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? This is one of my prized possessions, and this one cost me 30 bucks. This was also from the Haunted Bookshop. This is about table rappers. If you don't know what table rappers are, it's like spiritualists who sit around a table and to talk to the, you know, 1 knock for no, 2 knocks for yes kind of situation. That's really what it is. And this is just a book about them. It just looks so beautiful. This copy is from 1972. Which, I mean, in your head, 70s doesn't feel like that long ago, but it's
that
it's getting up there. It's almost like a 50-year-old book. This is just so beautiful, and every time I look at this, I want to cry because it just looks so Victorian and so spooky and just out there. And yeah, so I learned a lot about table rappers when I read the Houdini book, and this is just, I need to get into it. I know that. I'm talking a lot about these books, but I haven't read it, and I know you guys are probably like, what the fuck is she on about? But if you don't know why this is prized possession, girl, I can't explain it to you. I have all these books ready to tear open, but I don't know, I just like save them. It's weird. It's a weird little habit, but we're all weird here, aren't we? This next one is shrink wrapped. This is Mary Shelley, Frankenstein. I have read half of this book before. Not this one, obviously, but when I saw this copy, I was like, I need to get it. It looks beautiful. It's a very like 80s looking book. I don't know what the year is. It doesn't really say. It says 93. Actually, so it would have to be after 93, right? On the cover. It says 93, like this artwork. So it was a 90s version, but I think it looks really cool. And yeah, just creepy, and I think everyone should have Frankenstein, because he's my fave. And I just wanted to have a shrink-wrapped version. I might not even open this one ever. It's coming open a bit, but I wanted to have that, obviously. The last book I wanted to talk about today is Sybil. I have a love-hate relationship with this. I'm sure you guys know what Sybil is. This isn't really like a rare book, but this definitely goes with not really a cultish, but my oddity things. And this one is so personal to me. You can tell how much I've read this book. It's like coming apart. If you don't know who Sybil is, Sybil was a very famous case of a woman who had DID before it was called DID. So she had split personality. But yeah, it got turned into a movie, and I don't know how to break it to you if you don't know about this, but not too long ago it came out that it was all made up. And so I read this so much as, you know, like in my like 16, 17, 18, and yeah, That might not seem like that was long ago to you guys. It was more than 10 years ago. I just don't look different. But yeah, so this makes me sad because I invested so much of my heart and soul into the story. I was always like, oh my God, Sybil. And it was all fake, apparently. If you didn't know that, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's the last of my oddity books. So before we go, I just want to talk to you guys really quickly about where to find oddity books if you're looking for some. I found mine, a lot of mine, in the Haunted Bookshop, which is my favorite bookshop in Australia, and unfortunately it's shutting down at the end of September. If you are in Melbourne, please go down. It's 25% off. This is not sponsored. They don't even know I exist. I just go in there every time I go to Melbourne and I like buy so much of this kind of stuff. I love it. And I have 3 more books on the way. My mum actually went to Melbourne recently and FaceTimed me going through the store so I could grab some. I love these books. They're such treasures. If you're looking for something locally in your area, I would recommend going to op shops, or if you can go to secondhand just bookstores, that will have a lot of stuff. If you're looking in newer bookstores, there's a lot of like flashy, hip, cool bookstores. I know that Diabolic, which I believe is around Australia but might be international, they have an occult section. Beeline to the occult section, you'll find heaps of this kind of stuff. Not so character-y, like not so old editions, but you will find a lot of stuff. You just got to keep searching, guys. Call your local bookstores, ask if they have an occult section. I'm sure that Barnes & Noble or something like that, hopefully Nightmare Maven can help me out there, has, you know, a cult section or something similar, like a horror section. The cool thing about my favorite bookstore, the Haunted Bookshop, is that they had everything. Guys, you would die if you went into there. They had everything in different sections. So they had spirituality, they had Satanism, they had ghosts, they had witches, they had aliens. Walk in like a kid in a candy store. It was beautiful, and I'm so sad it's closing down. Let me know if you like this video by giving it a thumbs up. If you do have any specialty items or books that you're proud of, please let me know what they are down below, or if there's something similar to this, maybe I can look them up, maybe I can try and find a copy. Let me know down below. And also, if there is an oddity store in your area, please let us know down below. If other people are in the same area, they might be able to go check it out, and I think that would be really valuable to everybody. So please let us know down in the comment section below. And one last thing before I go, I'll be having a live stream next weekend on August the 31st. Please come hang out with me. I'm gonna get up at 4 AM, so hopefully it will suit your time zone. And we can hang out. There's gonna be some interactive games, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I hope to see you guys there. Until then, I hope you have a great day and stay spooky. Bye.